Warning, the following broadcast contains strong opinions, playful antics, and controversial topics causing off-the-rails fun. Chances for being offended are higher than average for sensitive people. Viewer discretion is not advised. Live a little and have some fun.
Well, now that we've got the rehearsal out of the way, hi, I'm Jim Powers. Glad to have you with us on the Coach's Box, Call It Like We See It, episode 194 coming soon, college football. Zach McVey and Mr. Chris Miller, who is on special assignment this evening. Someplace, we have no idea where. He won't tell us where he's going, but he's someplace in the state of Missouri. It's like, where's Waldo? Where's Miller?
Oh, no,
I don't know.
I
think he's at a CIA backside.
I'm in my car driving, but, since it's illegal to stream, I'm just listening to you nerds. And what I did find out from this experience already is Jim is a consummate professional. And I got so much crap for not pushing the button one time when we were supposed to go live. And I am so thankful for tonight because Jim Powers...
I wanted to have a rehearsal pretty open first. That's all. I just wanted to run through it all right, we're ready to go.
Hey, it's just like Saturday Night Live. It's a cold opening. That's all it was.
That's it. I mean, at least we're on.
Hey. That's true.
Kevin and Jarvis will be joining us here at some point in the next little bit. But before we get into college football, guys, let's talk a little bit about the Cardinals. We got a couple things we are going to chat about tonight. First, we'll talk some Cardinals baseball, the roller coaster they're on. Then we'll get into some high school stuff in Illinois. We'll be going to the shot clock in 26-27, so everybody's got 2 years to get it figured out. And we'll talk about why that is going to, what that's going to impact Missouri now with Illinois going to it full-fledged. And then we'll talk about Mizzou. Their schedule dropped, and times are kind of set. We still don't know what, but the text, our group text was firing on all cylinders with the schedule and all sorts of predictions. So, and I'm still the negative Nancy in the whole group, and I don't care. So anyway, let's talk about the Cardinals. And I want to go into last night. As much as we've been beating up Miklas threw a really, really good game last night, and so did Steins. And if you guys didn't get a chance to see this dude throw, this dude's got legitimate gas. He pitched last year in the College World Series for LSU, got drafted by the Pirates. He only pitched 3 AAA games in Indianapolis before Pittsburgh said, heck, we're bringing him up right now. And the dude threw gas last night, but Ollie mismanaging the bullpen again.
Well, I mean, part of it is that you can obviously see who he has faith in and who he doesn't have faith in terms of a bullpen. And I get it. Skeens was dealing. Michaelis was dealing. We could sit here and argue. I know Jarvis would. He wants to argue the idea of bringing a closer in a tie ball game in the 9th inning. I understand both. I've argued the same thing over the years, but I've come to understand and realize both sides of the argument. That was something. Okay, so we've been talking about the Cardinals and what needs to happen. Okay, here's what needs to happen. They need to get a guy like Skeens because he's worth the price of admission. And win, lose, or draw, that's what's going to bring people to the ball game, right? That's going to bring people to the stadium. Again, you go back to the McGuire days and in the late 90s when the Cardinals were struggling. Why did people show up? Because they wanted to see something unique and amazing. That's what's happening with Pittsburgh. I mean, they talked on ESPN about, have the Pirates finally closed the gap with us, or have they surpassed us? And I don't know about that, but I think
they're close.
You definitely see them drafting well, developing well. And guys, I mean, again, to piggyback off what Jim's saying, what's your thoughts on that situation?
Well,
I'm going to go ahead, Chris. Go ahead, bud.
That's the best picture of Chris I've ever seen.
Whatever.
And imagine that. The dude's internet probably ain't working right. Can't believe it.
It's on my phone. So, anyway, the thing is about the Pirates, I mean, Skeens is definitely worth the price of admission. The problem is Pittsburgh has had talent in the past. They've drafted some guys who could play, and then they trade them away before they have to sign them to some big money deals.
They don't want to pay them.
They don't want to pay. It sounds like the Cardinals, except they have the talent. They drafted talent, and then they trade away. Now, they have tried to sign a couple of their younger guys to long-term deals, like a Brian Hayes, but he's hurt. Now, I will say this. If I'm the Pirates, you've loaded up on some draft picks, you just got to spend the money for a little bit, see if you can't do what the Royals are trying to do to lock up some long-term talent. And, they've closed the gap on the Cardinals because they've got guys who are young who can play, and we got a bunch of old dudes who can't. In the story.
They'll screw it up. They'll screw it up. They aren't going to sustain this. You're a pipe dream. That ain't happening. Pirates going to go back to being the Pirates. They're not going to win the division this year. They're going to end up
they're not winning the
division. No, because Milwaukee is.
And they're not going to make a wild card. No, they're not closing the gap.
It doesn't take much. The Cardinals finished last in the division last year.
It's 1 year. 1 year. No, they're not going to be last place.
They're in last place right now.
Well, crap, Jim. We know negative Nancy.
I mean, here's the thing. And I was listening to this.
They're winning 3-1 right now. Shut up.
Give it time, right?
I got my St. Louis hat on. I mean, the guy is never on the show pushing to have the show at 8. I decide. Make a decision, Jarvis. I put 8:30. No, it's 8. That dude's never here. We're letting him decide. We're letting him decide where we're going to have the show. The hell with Jim. We have the show when we want to have the show because Jim is never on the show.
Hey.
By the way, Jason, it was great to see you the other night at Hillsborough. That's all I'm going to say. It was great to see you at Hillsborough the other night.
Look at that. They just scored some more runs. Donovan.
Guys, I'm just telling you right now, here's the problem, Jason. He's running the board, and you don't know how to do it. So
I'm pretty sure
anyone can push some buttons.
Everybody else but Jarvis has run the show. So
true story.
So at some point before
somebody's got to carry the ratings, boys, and that's me.
The ratings.
I mean, we got what, 2 people watching us right now?
Right,
that's because of me.
And I think it's you and Zach that's watching it.
No, I don't even have my phone on. I don't even know. I don't even care. I've been dealing with BS all day, so I don't know.
I hear you on that. But all right, so here's as much as I just cannot stand Kevin Slayton, I think he's the biggest pompous idiot in sports radio history. Man. He actually had a good point today.
Tell us what you really feel. Sounds like our Jim of the coach's box. But go ahead. Head barely fits on the goddamn screen. Go ahead.
Oh, gosh. The bottom line is Marmol is so mishandling this bullpen. They're going to be gassed by the end of July, early August.
I was not happy about bringing Helsley in last night. It wasn't a save situation. As soon as they pulled him in, I said, well, he's going to give up runs. And what did he do? He gave up runs. And then Gorman hits a useless homer again. Whoop-de-doo. I got 15 solo shots. Yippee.
I mean,
Damn,
this pitching
I
staff.
just sounded like Jim.
You did. I love it. I wrote
My
it
bad.
off on somebody at least.
Sorry, I got my St. Louis hat on, baby. Until I die. I definitely wasn't wearing a Battlehawk hat. They suck.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Is it a matter of, do we have the talent to win, or is it mismanagement, or what is it going to take? Because you have to realize we were a 71-win team last year, dead last. Okay? You have to make up – Kevin thinks we're going to make up 20 wins. That ain't happening. But can you get to 500 or better? And I'm guessing the way Jarvis just said, that's going to be a no. But
I'm hopeful. I'm still
hopeful?
rooting for him. Gosh,
I mean,
Carpenter's still in our tops. Okay, here's the deal.
Really? We're gonna go down the Carpenter road.
No,
right
I'm not
now.
going down the Carpenter hole. Marmal's got to get a pair and go, Arnado, look, you suck right now. You're moving down in the order to 7. You got to move him. You can't keep batting him.
But the problem is he doesn't have the set to do that, Jason. And it's coming from the suite up and the behind home plate from Mozeliak and DeWitt.
We're stuck with Arnado, guys. So somebody's going to have to bite the bullet and say, listen, your fielding hadn't been great. Your hitting's not great. You're not in the top 6 in the batting order anymore. Get down there at 7, figure something out. I mean, because when Contreras comes back, he has to be batting before all them guys. He's our best hitter.
I'll agree with that.
Is he protection? Does he offer protection?
Protection. Well, it doesn't matter. Pitchers are blowing stuff by Arenado and these guys. I mean, I know he had a good game yesterday, but his one at bat was so bad it overshadowed the rest of it to me. I listened to the guys on 101 today. They were talking, which we needed to add this. I meant to add this to the. This is the anniversary of the Blues, winning the Stanley Cup. So we have to talk a little bit about the Blues at some point. But I just don't. Arenado's not what we thought he was, and we're stuck with that contract, guys. He has a no trade clause. It's not like he's not going to go unless it's a contender. You can't trade him to somebody for a box of baseballs or whatever. But I mean, we're going to end up having to pay a chunk of that salary unless we find something. And it sucks. We should have traded him last year. I can't believe it. I didn't say that last year. I should have, and like Mo would listen to me. But anyway, we should have traded him last year. I mean, Gorman would be your freaking third baseman, right? I mean, I don't know. Or maybe, that guy's in the minors. He can't play.
Let's just say this, guys.
He has no launch angle.
If the Cardinals only win between 70 and 75 games this year, which is where they're trending right now, we have to be realistic. If there's any other team in Major League Baseball, back-to-back years of 70 wins, what normally happens to either the general manager or the manager?
Fired.
Exactly.
We fired Matheny, and he was 500, right? I mean,
yeah.
Actually, I think they should give that manager a 5-year contract because, look what you did. You're mediocre. I mean, you could be the White Sox, and they suck, and they might lose 120 games this year. But it could be worse, guys. Let's look at the positive here.
You can't say that when you're the franchise that has the second most championships in Major League history, and you have the fan base that we have.
We don't act like it though.
Did you guys see
it anymore?
Did you guys see Busch Stadium on Saturday afternoon during that game?
Pitiful.
It was the lowest attended game. And okay, let's preface this. That's paid tickets. I guarantee you there's maybe 20,000 in that stadium. They announced it at 30-something, but that was the lowest attended game since COVID. That's terrible. That's not St. Louis. That is not the Cardinals. And Mosaic and those guys think, well, if people don't come, we're gonna have to do this and raise prices. No, put talent on the field that can get the job done to put people in the seats and get to the playoffs instead of having a Mickey Mouse manager that doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to managing a bullpen. You got guys that have no right being on a major league roster right now. Lance Lynn can't get out of the 5th inning to save his life. And what did everybody say about Lance Lynn? He's an innings eater.
All three guys.
Lynn, exactly. And what have they done?
Jim, I'm going to stop you right there. There is something that Lynn is still good at, and that's eating. Look at him.
Valid point. Valid
point.
All
right, so we got half of that.
And they talked about the inning eaters with all the new signees. Guys, they're not even. I think they said they're averaging 5.1 maybe.
Well, when you're taking people out at 60 pitches, what do you expect?
But
I know our bullpen lines up good. I know it lines up good. I know it lines up good in those 3 spots. But if a guy I couldn't believe they left Michaelis in or whatever, left him in last night.
At some point you got to, because you got to save your bullpen.
He's throwing a no-hitter. You got to leave him in. Okay, and this goes back to this is the nonsense that happens. They screwed Wynn's on a 19-game hitting streak, and then you pinch hit him, and then he plays the rest of the game, and he doesn't get back up. What a-holes! That is ridiculous. You would have done that to Arenado. You wouldn't have done that to him. You wouldn't have done that to the first baseman. You wouldn't have done that to other people, but you're going to do that to a rookie, a promising rookie, one of the brightest spots on this team.
Mason Wynn's right now the best player on this team.
And that play he made last night and the damn catcher didn't catch the gosh damn ball.
Yeah.
You suck, Tags. Get off. Get him out.
Well, I told you he looked like he
Beer league softball. He looked like me playing catcher.
That's what I thought. I'm like, is this a joke? Is this a joke?
They call me Skillet because I could catch.
Is this beer league softball or what? What are we doing?
I thought they just pointed out to some random fan like it's fan appreciation night. You get to play for it.
He was our emergency catcher. He should have been catching.
That's him. That's what I'm saying. That's what I said.
Emergency catcher. His position is catcher. I'm talking like Donovan, emergency.
It's like the PGA player 2 weeks ago. His caddy fell down, got hurt, and they yanked a fan out of the freaking gallery. The caddy for him the last 10 holes or something.
Hey, this is totally off the subject, but you know what? I'm glad Chris is quiet because I cannot take that seriously because there's nothing on the screen. I can't take it seriously. I keep looking at it, and he's got the same goofy look on his face.
Is that better right now? Yeah, how about that?
A little better.
Good.
He was. I'm sure he was pulled over, and his car was in park when he did that. So
so
okay.
he's driving while he's on this show.
I don't know. I can neither confirm nor deny. If
we have no idea.
He's going to plead the fifth.
He is in deep undercover assignment mode this week.
Yeah, he's going to a CIA black site somewhere that we know not about. Okay,
it's almost like Area 54, but anyway.
Right. So okay. Now, how bad does not having Tommy Edman, Lars Nootbaar? You obviously didn't have Jordan Walker up here. Victor Scott was on the opening day roster. So you are playing with a half deck, if not less than a half of a deck. And what can we expect as fans going forward? I mean, at some point I've said this for several years now. You have to look at why are guys getting hurt all of the time. If the same dudes get hurt all of the time, and then you got to make an adjustment. What's the definition of insanity? You got to do something different or go get different types of players. And I don't know.
insanity, you keep running the flex and keep running the flex and keep running the I was joking. But
Hey, whoa. Hey,
Here we go.
second most wins in St. Pius history run the flex. Shut up.
I know, and I know, and you left. Wow,
I know.
what a bummer.
Sorry. I know.
You were gonna overtake number one coach at Pius.
I had to be there like 70 years, but
Oh, okay. Well, we all know you ain't gonna make it that long.
no, I got a 5-year plan.
Wow.
Don't
So
die.
Danny Mac had said this. I'm going to get your opinions on this. He said it's either this morning or yesterday. I can't remember, but he said, and I want to go take this not only to the Cardinals, but let's kind of open this up to all sports and even trickle down to you guys coaching, us as high school coaches. He said, winning and losing, there's no excuses. Okay. Losing, there's no excuses. However, there are reasons why you lose. Do you agree? Do you disagree with that statement? I thought that was maybe not necessarily insightful, but I'll share my opinions afterwards. But he said there's no excuse for losing, but there are reasons why you lose. What's your take on that?
I'll agree with that. I mean, there's all
I can
sorts
name
of
a lot
things.
of reasons we're losing right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are reasons, and in the Cardinals case right now, I just think it right now is terrible decisions by the front office, terrible decisions by the manager, and that's been the trickle down effect, and that's led to the fans not wanting to go to the games. I mean, I'm being honest, I don't want to go watch a Cardinals game because I don't like the product on the field right now. And plus, I hate being downtown after dark because who in the world knows if you're going to walk out and your car is going to be there.
I don't drive that
Just
nice.
saying.
Jim, I don't drive that nice a car. It'd be there.
Jim, if it's not there, you just call an Uber. I mean, duh.
That's why I Uber down there, but I still won't go down there.
Just saying.
Just
Easy
saying.
fix. Easy
Oh,
fix.
boy. Oh, boy.
Man, especially I wouldn't go down there wearing that big bright yellow shirt you had on yesterday or Monday.
You got to like that shirt.
That's a big target right there. I was like, oh, wait.
By the way, that graphic has got to be thrown away. That ended up in our group chat.
Chris, that graphic needs to be used on the show.
No. Hey, I'm still not happy about today's graphic. Of all three teams that were represented, why do I got to have my head on a Michigan player? Why, Miller?
So you can feel like a winner.
Obvious reasons.
Ohio
State will be the number one team in the country by the end of the football season. There.
For what sport? For what sport? Because they ain't going to be football.
Water polo.
Football.
June 12th, 2024. Jim Powers reveals that Ohio State will be number one in football. Mark it down. Heard it here first. Can't wait till they lose to Michigan.
Won't happen.
I don't know. I mean, what do you guys?
They'll have a better record than Mizzou. They'll be in a better bowl game than Mizzou.
They played in a crappier conference than Mizzou.
Shut up.
If they would have had their whole team, they would have beat Mizzou. Oh, here we go. Now Kevin's
they would have had their whole team. If they had had their whole team, they would have beat Mizzou. Yeah.
Are we complaining about Ohio State again?
Hey, Marmol
Yeah, so we've
Jr.
already started. We've opened up Pandora's
You
box.
sound like Marmol. Marmol Jr. right now.
You're killing me, Smalls.
That's why I'm here. I got my Louisville Cardinals shirt since Jill went on a visit there. I bought a shirt.
There you go. There you go. Well, since Kevin's here, we might as well. Kevin, we're talking about the Cardinals. What are your thoughts about the Cardinals right now? And if you say they're still going to win 91 games, we may have to revoke your fan card.
By the time September rolls around, they will be in the running for 91 wins and the Central Division Championship.
Man, there's a lot of strange juice being drank over there. Man, the strange things just keep coming from Pius, and there's another one. That statement right there. I don't know about that. I love your positivity, but 91 games, Kevin.
I was positive.
I was
on this
right
show
about
'cause it hit
you
me.
and I were right about Mizzou last year,
That's
and nobody
true.
else was.
I say they win 10 plus next year too.
I'm in 10 or 11. That's where I'm at next year.
We're talking about that in the last
We're
segment.
going to do that.
Sorry.
We'll do
my
that
bad.
later.
I
didn't
read the
look.
agenda.
I didn't
Of course
read the
not.
agenda. Come
Hey,
on.
I'm Jarvis tonight. I'm just coming in late and not reading the agenda.
Oh, first I didn't know where he was going with that, folks.
But
Hey, Kevin,
no,
how do you like Chris Miller's picture right there?
It looks better than it normally does.
I'm having trouble taking him seriously when he talks.
Yeah. That's par for the course, though.
Yeah.
You guys are about as funny as a bunch of chapped assholes, that's for sure.
There's one.
You like my virtual background right now?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm riding in a car.
10 and 2.
Spoken like a good public school educator right there.
This show is so gonna get shut down. Oh,
He looks like one of those Muppet segments where they're just driving the car and just
That the same tree keeps going by.
Man.
no.
All right,
good.
Well, why don't we do this? Let's take a break, and when we come back, we are going to dive into the shot
I
clock.
forgot he's running the board. I was just getting ready to say, who left this dude? Oh, there you go. There
it is.
That doesn't look suspicious at all.
No, not even close.
Sorry.
When we come back, we are going to
That's
talk
awesome.
shot clock. The gift that keeps on giving. Well, the Illinois High School Association opened up Pandora's box, and what is Missouri going to do? We'll talk about it right after this. You're watching episode 194 of the Coach's Box. Call it like we see it. We'll be back here in a moment.
I'm a bird stuck in Larry Bird's attic. And I'm going cuckoo.
What the heck?
What you got, Larry? May the best bird win. Brick. You may be a legend on the court, but you're an amateur up here. Heads up, Larry. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem, like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
On average, heating and cooling account for around 40% of your energy bills. Introducing the efficient Daikin Fit, a revolutionary HVAC system for ducted homes. While other units use considerable energy turning on and off, the Daikin Fit saves energy through consistent comfort control. It's the perfect fit for homes like yours. See the difference. Feel the benefits. Daikin Fit.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
Guys, if you've been in to check out the changes at Case and Buck's Grub and Pub, stop by, check us out. We've got awesome wings. We got great pizza. We got a steak sandwich, a steak salad. Holy cow. We got games. We've got lotto. We've got cold beer. We've got a little bit of everything. Stop by, check us out. Check out the weekly specials. Barbecue, pork steaks. Yum. Harold's Market. Thank you, my friends. Check us out. We are waiting for you.
4 of us are back. I have no idea where Jarvis is.
We're not really sure about that fourth one. Is Chris really there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You know
Shut up.
He's the
Is he at a rest stop?
God.
I think I just broke my chair.
I'm gonna let one of you guys go with the comment. I'm not saying a word. Not saying it. Not gonna go there.
Jarvis, how's that diet going?
I'm down 33, 34 pounds.
You know,
Chair didn't think so.
No, it didn't.
I'm going to say this. I saw Jarvis Monday night over at Hillsboro for Summer League, and I will say this, Jason. I'm proud of you. You look really, really good, man.
I still got a ways to go. I'm eating fish. It sucks.
Well,
hey, a little fried crappie.
You got to admit, that Subway sandwich I had the other night was pretty good, so there it is.
I'm sure it was, Jim.
It was, because that was the only thing I ate all day. So, all right, let's talk shot clock, since I kind of led into this thing. The Illinois High School Association, their board meeting was on Tuesday, and they have adopted, they're going to the shot clock. 35-second clock starting in 26-27. And it's just not going to be the big schools. It is going to be everybody. What does that mean for Missouri? Is that going to finally push the lower class schools into finally giving in and saying, okay, we'll figure out a way to make it work? Or are they still going to dig their heels in and say no to it? So I'll give my thoughts after everybody else talks. You guys know my feelings about it.
I think in terms of salary, now, Chris, you could probably can confirm or deny this, but because we have so many K-8 districts compared to other states, I think money will be an issue the same way teacher pay for the state. And again, when we're talking nationally, comparing. So if money will always be an issue for the state of Missouri and for schools, I can't see them adopting this anytime soon. I think what happens is it's no different than, let's say, an Incarnate Word going to a national tournament or of the Vashon boys going to a national tournament, and they have to adapt to whatever state that they're playing in. You know, when you have schools that travel across the Mississippi and play big school or small school alike, they're just going to have to understand that, hey, you're going to have to play by those states' rules. And now that Illinois is going to have, or, several years from now, they're going to have that shot clock, you just adapt. I would be curious, though, how many programs actually shoot within the 35 seconds or, they take longer. And I'm not talking about when they're trying to delay late game situations.
You're talking a normal situation.
In a normal situation. I just, being around the game for 20 years, basically, I can't think of, unless you call a timeout and specifically tell kids we want to have so many passes or we want to wait for we want to run clock. I don't see it.
Not me. I want to shoot in the very first open shot we have because I don't want to turn it over.
That's what me and Ben, we tell our kids, you get an open look, layup, or a clean look jumper, you're taking it. We're not, unless we are up or we need to look for something specific like a ball reversal or something, but that's only going to take 15 to 17 seconds. I don't think at Lutheran South, there may have been 2 occasions where we're even close to a possession to 25 seconds, let alone 35 seconds.
Well, Now, 2 years ago, my kids could have done it. Right now, I can't do that.
Yeah, I think this is inevitably going to happen everywhere eventually.
I do too.
It's just a matter of time. It's just, I think for some of those smaller districts, those more rural districts where the money seems to be the issue with this, I think they're going to have it may not be a 26-27, but they may come out and say, hey, 28-29 will be the year that we finally go to it, and give them enough time to kind of lead into that. My bigger issue has always been finding people to run it on a consistent basis when you have the gym going every night and you barely find people to run scoreboards in some places. Now you got to find somebody else to run something more complicated with more rules than just pushing buttons.
Well, and
getting
again, you got
officials
kids.
to understand.
Go ahead, Jim.
Go ahead, Zach.
I was just going to say, you have kids that have to do a scorebook, or kids that, maybe have to do a clock. Especially you have that at lower levels, JV, freshman, and I know junior high. Again, we've all been around that. We've all had to have that happen in some way, shape, or form. My question is, and Jim, go ahead, does that affect K-8? Does that affect junior high? Does that affect the middle school, or is that just high school?
Just high school.
Just varsity.
Just varsity.
Just varsity.
The problem I have with that a little bit is you're paying a lot of money for basically in a gym to have it for, you got 10 girls home games, 10 boys, 20 games, 20 nights out of a whole year for 20 games. And that's all you're going to use it for. That's a tough sell for me for the cost that it takes to install it. And then add on like $20 a night per game or whatever you're paying per game for somebody to run it.
It's got to be more than $20. No one's going to do it.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly. Just throwing that number out there. But,
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so here is I actually pulled up the IHSA website and their minutes from their board meeting. 35-second shot clock will be required for usage in varsity girls and boys basketball games beginning 26-27. Use of the shot clock for lower level freshman, sophomore, junior varsity contests will be determined by conference and via mutual agreement by competing teams in non-conference games. So no junior highs. You have to agree to it on the lower high school levels, but varsity, it's full go.
Well, if it's full go varsity, I'm going to want my JV to play that way too.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's going to be like, oh, you're coming to our place. You're playing by our rules, whether you want to go, whether you want to do it or not. That's what it's going to kind of, because, some coach is going to go say, hey, my JV kids, hey, I don't want to play by the shot clock. What coach really doesn't want those JV games to go a little bit faster and not have them drag out? They might use it just to even train some other people to do it. It's more practice to do that and run through those functions.
I'm not going to lie. I'm neither for or against. I don't care. If we get it, we get it. We don't, we don't. I mean, I'm going to coach. I want to coach basketball for the next 6-7 years if I can. And it's not going to matter. Right? It may speed up games. It may make games more interesting. I don't know. I mean, I'm all for it. They got to do it at the college level. And you got a kid that, I was lucky enough to have a kid that went to college last year that played for me for 3 years. And, I think it's a good thing if they do it. But like, I'm not going to be mad if we don't, because I know on my AD, Jason Gilman, and all the people that have to get people to work, that we're struggling like day of sometimes begging to get, my own coaches who, like, there's a junior high game and, they're asking coaches if we can go down there and do the clock, or vice versa for a varsity game. A bunch of my junior high coaches, my 2 junior high coaches did several of our games, either on the clock or announcing or the book. So, it's just, schools will adapt. They'll get people to do it. It's just going to suck, but it is what it is. I think this is only progressing, where if we become one of the only states that doesn't do it, we're going to have to. We'll do it.
It's a lot like that volleyball going to 5 games thing. Eventually, we were the last state to do it, and then we
were one of the last. Yeah,
we were kind of forced into it. So I think it's
so
going to be very similar.
I went to a lot of volleyball games, and dude, that 5 games is so long.
I referee them, and I hate 5 seconds.
If we get like.
At least they didn't do it with the freshman and JV level, lower level games. I wish if there are times I'd be like, just go 2. Just go 2 games. If they split them, it's a tie. No overtime.
I am seriously
no 3-on-3.
No,
I'm such a bad fan, because like, if my daughter gets her butt kicked for the first 2 sets, I'm like, just lose the third and get this over with. I do not want to sit here for 4 or 5, man. A lot of times if you lose the first 2, I bet the percentages are so high on you losing.
Yeah. But you also get the lower percentage that, okay, you lose the first two. Well, guess what you're probably going to do? You're going to win the next two, and we're going to go to a fifth set. And
then you never
there it
know.
is.
I know. But
Right.
my Lord, it seems forever. Like I'm sitting there going, oh.
So let me ask you guys, do you think
I'd rather watch that than soccer?
Because,
go ahead.
Oh, you see, Kevin, misinformation,
Right.
misinformation once again.
The beautiful game is not for everybody.
No, it's not.
Oh my goodness!
Me and Kevin will be having a soccer show at some point.
Worst game on earth.
It's going to happen. Can I give my thoughts first, Zach, before you?
No, we don't want your thoughts.
Okay. Go ahead, Zach.
Go ahead, Jim. Go ahead. You're running the show.
Yeah, you're the guy with the buttons.
Bye, Jarvis.
And that's dirty.
All right. It's going to happen. The NFHS is going to mandate it. Just like they mandated the 3-5 in volleyball, just like, they've mandated some other things. It's coming. I don't like it for two reasons. Number one, finding people to learn how to do it is going to be just a monster issue for a lot of schools, and that's including some of the big schools. But my biggest thing with the shot clock is the officials, and nobody's mentioned this piece of it yet. College officials, they are used to it. And we see college officials that work our high school games. But the main thing that we see is we have officials that have never seen the shot clock. So are they going to totally know the rule? Are they going to totally know how to handle the situations? And honestly, we all know this. There are some officials that will not be able to handle a shot clock because they're going to try to be very finite in the rulings, and it's going to be absolutely ridiculous on them trying to figure it out. I was muting Chris while he was moving around, but
making way too much noise.
Yeah, pretty much. But that's
basically
concern.
Like normal, not giving anything beneficial to the discussion.
But that's my concern is, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on the officials. And we're already screaming for officials. Now we're going to throw the shot clock piece into it. That's going to scare some of the older guys away. And some of the younger guys that don't want to possibly get into that. Personally, I want to see the arc. I want to see the restricted area before the shot clock, just like college.
Powers,
that makes things so much easier.
Don't lump us all in. I'm not screaming against officials just because you and Ben did the other night out of the league.
Hey, I got my money's worth, didn't I? I got my money's worth.
Summer League? Who screams at Summer
Ben,
League?
Oh, Ben
this
was
guy.
complaining. Ben was complaining. They're whooping teams' butts and complaining. I'm like, shut up.
At least but at least for the first time in 3 years, I could at least have a conversation with a certain official, Jason, who we've talked about on this show. Now, the other guy, I was a little perturbed with him. But anyway.
So
I love
me ask you
all officials.
You especially love Mike Nolan?
Who?
Nolan?
No, Nolan sucks. But
clip that off. I need to send that to him right now. I need to send that to him. Clip that.
I was joking. I mean, Langhauser sucks worse than him.
Clip that off too. There we go. We got two. We got a 2-for-1 sale tonight. Zach, go ahead.
So that's the TikTok. So my question is for you guys: do you think that having a shot clock, does it truly affect the game differently in terms of scoring, possessions? So again, I look at it like this. I look at the premier games. Maybe you go to the Final Four, state championship. I think that can make things super, super exciting. But then I also look at it from the standpoint of, are we going to have more lopsided games where you have teams that are already beating other schools 100-2? Are you going to have more of that? How much of the shot clock do you think will affect the high school game?
Just about as much as the 5 fouls did.
There will be a little bit of an effect. I mean,
but I don't think it'll be major. But
no,
go ahead,
what
Jim.
I've seen when teams have run stall, they're trying to slow the pace down. Somebody trying to run a stall against Incarnate we just use that as a perfect example. Okay, you're just not going to do it. They play too good a defense, but they're going to try to limit possessions. Chris wants us to unmute him now.
I don't know. Do you remember Northwest doing the whole stall ball at the Herculaneum Bruce Thomas tournament?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I remember that. Chris Miller, would you like to comment on the shot clock?
Well, yeah, I want to comment on the shot clock.
Oh, boy.
That's the only reason I even wanted to be on the show today.
What?
You're not on the show. Oh,
yeah, I am. I'm here.
There he is.
Hey, hold on.
Hang on. Let's get rid of that crap.
Hey, Jarvis, stick your hand up. Jarvis, stick your arm up, and then when he talks, you can move it like it's a ventriloquist.
That's funny.
That's about how bad his internet connection is. There's nothing new.
You're funny.
Well, he's traveling around Area 54. What the hell?
There we go. All right. So
Lord,
my whole
again.
All right. No, I'm stopped. I am not driving. Okay, so here's the thing about the shot clock. Number one, it's not about the cost of the actual shot clock itself, because that's something that, especially public schools, I don't want to hear that crap. You do bond issues, whatever. In private schools, you can fundraise. You got donors. People will provide money. You can pay for the thing, installation. It's just a pain in the butt. That's one. Two, the problem is that's the biggest excuse that anybody wants to use for it, especially athletic directors and superintendents, everybody. They're going to say that's the number one. The second one comes down to people to work it, as you guys already discussed. I've been listening to this cluster of a show while I'm on my way to Kansas City.
Well, you left Jim in charge. What did you expect it to be?
Because you can't do it, Jason, so just shut up about it. All right. So then there's that.
We already stated that I am here
Jim,
for ratings.
Will you just mute him? I got to make my point here. So then, I didn't say kick him off the show. Damn. All right. So then the thing is you can't find people to work those things. Okay? You can't find people to work the shot clock, and it's the same as finding people to do the book or everything else. That's the biggest problem that you have. The problem that's becoming with all the states around us going to the shot clock is these schools don't want to come over into Missouri and play without one. So they're dropping those border schools all around the state that have the shot clock are dropping schools in Missouri and won't play. So Arkansas teams, they don't want to go over and play in Missouri because they don't have a shot clock. You lose those games. So all those schools that are around the state that don't have in Missouri, they're losing home games with these schools they've been playing for a long time because they don't have a shot clock. That's a problem. Then the only way that Missouri is going to go to this, the only way it's going to happen is when the NFHS comes out and says, you have to have a shot clock. Don't give a rat's ass about, the cost, you're finding people to work with. That's what they're going to do. They'll have to do it just like they did with the foul, with the team fouls and that, and just say, hey, this is what we're doing. We're going to give you the grace period that if you don't have this in by whatever date, which if they have to force Missouri, they'll say 2.5 years. But if they do that, if you don't have it, you can't host a home game. They will not let you. And that's what they did in Iowa. And I bet you that's what they're going to do in Illinois, saying if you don't have a shot clock by whatever date it is, 2026, the first day of basketball season, then you cannot host a varsity basketball game. You can host all JV games you want, but you cannot host a varsity game. It will be illegal. If you do it, it's a forfeit automatically. That's the only way that Missouri is getting a shot clock as it sits right now. and it's all the excuses in the world. I've run the flex, and I know I can play a slow down game, but I am not against it, and I am not for it. I just know that it needs to happen, and everybody needs to stop talking about it because it's happening in other states. It's part of the game. It's part of it's what's going on at the highest level, at the next highest level. It should just happen, and let's move on. Like the 3-point line, everything else. Let's go, get it in. I don't care if we have it. I'll adjust as everybody else will, and that's just the way it needs to be. Miller
Here's
out.
what I think is going to end up happening. Missouri may end up going with what Kansas is going with right now. Kansas is basically mandated it for their top 2 classes for boys and girls varsity. The other classes, if they want to go with it, it's up to the individual schools. It's not mandated. But for their top 2 classifications for right now, that's what they're going with. Because, in Kansas, I will say this, Kansas is a totally different animal with their high school association. And, when you're playing 6 state championship games in football and they're all at 6 different sites around the state, you understand what I'm saying. That's how cattywampus they are. But
I wonder, that's got to be hard to do in Missouri with the fluctuating of classes between teams going up and down between 4 and 5 and 3 and 4 and 5 and things like that.
In basketball, you've got 6 classes, which I still say is the most ridiculous thing ever. There should not be 6 classes in basketball. Yeah. There shouldn't be 6 classes in football. It's watered down. And we're seeing declining numbers. And Jarvis pouting. There's declining numbers all over the place. And I just think, and there was actually something on the table to bring football back to 5 classes last year, and it failed.
It was by the football coaches, I believe, are the ones that
football coaches wanted to go to 5 classes, but it got voted down by the ADs and the president and the principals. And that. So, but no, I agree with Chris. It will be the NFHS is going to be the one that's going to have to lay the hammer down and make it across the board for every state, every state to do it. But once again, I'm going to go back to this, and Zach, you can answer this. Chris, if you're still here, Jarvis, I have no idea where the heck he's at, but I would rather see the restricted area arc before the shot clock, because that will clean up a lot of the shenanigans that go in the post. That's going to stop the block charges, because now officials won't have to guess. If the foot's on the arc and there's a charge, it's a charge. It's a charge, a block, automatically.
It's going to be cheaper to put in the shot clock than it is to put in the restricted area and things like that when you do that permanently type of thing.
Not really.
You can always use floor tape.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
Well, let's not
until
talk
somebody
about
guesses if it's in the right spot.
Let's not talk about the Norm Stewart and the floor tape from last year on the first day of it. So anyway, I regress.
So
if you're talking between the restricted area and the shot clock and what's going to actually benefit the kids, then and benefit just the actual game, I think you're looking at the restricted area, because again, you look at baseball, look at Major League Baseball with the advent of the square that they have. There's that push for robot umps because, hey, you can clearly see if it's going to be a ball, if it's going to be a strike. You put the restricted area.
What about a foul tip? What about a foul tip the other day when it was a clear foul tip and they go, nope, it's a wild pitch. He's going to score the run. Okay, I'm off my soapbox now.
No, but I think if you're talking between the two, I think you put the restricted arch in. I think that helps everybody, and that puts a better product on the floor rather than worrying about a shot clock. I think there's other things to worry about in the game of basketball than putting 35 seconds on a clock or trying to get a shot up.
Hey, I got a question. Are we going to talk about the new call that referees get to make called flopping? It's an actual call now with a hand signal.
Don't get me started.
Wait. I am getting you started. I'm asking you, Mr. Referee, what the hell is that all about?
I hate it. I mean, you knew it was coming because it's the trickle-down effect. We all see the trickle-down effect. We see it from NBA, which, by the way, Boston's now ahead by 7 at the 8-minute mark in the third quarter. In game 3, they could really put this thing away tonight. It trickles down. NBA dudes do it. College dudes starting to do it.
Cardinals win! Cardinals win!
One game closer to
welcome
91.
back. Well, welcome back, Jason.
Oh, it still looks better than you.
Jason.
That's debatable. Put your glasses on, Grandpa.
I don't need glasses yet.
Yeah, keyword yet. Yeah, I don't know where they're going with this flop thing, and and I'm just going to say this: you got some officials last year. I had a JV official who somehow, and I have no idea how this is happening, that's working junior college. She called a flop in one of my JV games last year, and I went out of my ever-loving mind. I mean, she literally showed the motion. She's going like that. I'm like, what in the absolute hell is going on right now? Well, it was a block. Okay, then we should be shooting too. No, it was on the floor. I'm like, make up your mind. If it's a flop, okay, then we're shooting 2 because it's a delay game technical. I'm like, what are we doing? And once again, this is another rule that officials are going to have to adapt to, and I don't know if they're going to be able to. I feel so bad for the assigners, the interpreters, the observers, because half the officials are not going to understand what the flop rule really truly is. They're going to call it as a bailout if they think it's close, and it's going to drive coaches absolutely insane.
The flopping rule is going to be very similar to the obstruction rule in baseball and softball, where they change the interpretation every other year because nobody understands what it really means, or what a catcher or a fielder can or can't do, and what the base runner can or can't do. And then they just adjust it every other year. They're going to change what to look for, what the points of emphasis are.
I think it's going to be every other game. You get that now. You get it now. And I get it. I get it with basketball that it is different than football, where you get and softball and baseball and volleyball, where you get to rest in between each play. It's constant. Like, I get that. Basketball is the absolute hardest game to officiate. And I think that's why, just like in society, you need to take away so many rules that need to be enforced and let the game just happen. And then make, again, have fewer rules, but the rules that you do have, you have to enforce. And I think that would make things a lot easier for everybody.
I've said a lot of these rules that they do, all these specific things, is a lot of them go, instead of making a specific rule for it, just if it's bad enough, make it an unsportsmanlike call and move on from there.
Right.
If they deem it to be bad enough that it's unsportsmanlike behavior, then just make it that.
Call flagrant and move on.
Yeah.
There it is. So,
because I would be willing to bet that you're going to have kids, because of AAU, they're probably either taught it or they're not taught well, and they're going to be like, wait a second, I get to do this on the weekends and nothing's called. And like, again, you have all of these different entities and organizations, and it's like there's no this is the rules, this is it, this is the box that we're going to play in, and it's across the board.
But that applies to the same thing, though, when you're talking about AAU, because the kids that'll argue say, well, I get to do that in AAU and it works. Yeah, but it's not the same game. And that's a different argument, a different story for club sports and AAU, and why it's different than high school.
And summer league basketball.
Well, yeah, but summer league is a little bit easier to explain. Like, listen, we're trying to get these games in and nobody cares, except don't kill each other. I mean, that's about as bland as don't want to shoot a bunch of free throws.
From the top rope, Gene.
Yeah, but hey, this whole thing with flopping, I can't wait for a Jarvis argument about flopping
I know.
with an official. I mean, like, what did you just call? What did he just? You've got to be kidding me. What?
Is that LeBron out there? Is that LeBron?
My kids are so scared of contact. We're gonna get that called all the time.
No, I'm saying like you're gonna be like you're gonna say, hey, that was flopping. It's a flop. It's a flop.
I'm not gonna say that.
On the other team.
I'm not kidding you. I didn't speak 5 words to a referee hardly in any game last year.
On that note, anyway.
What do you mean on that note? It's the truth.
You got real quiet when you said that.
I didn't have any technicals.
I said other than timeout.
I got a bench warning, but I didn't get a technical last year.
Well,
I didn't get any technicals either last year.
I didn't have any
technicals because you were hiding under the table in the fetal position because you didn't want to.
Who? Who was in a fetal position?
Kevin was hiding. By the way, Kevin, you're not. I'm kidding. By the way, you mentioned the interference obstruction. How many times during the College World Series softball was that gone to the replay?
Twice a game, easy.
At least. So, all right. So here's what we're gonna do.
Arenado's 3 of 4 tonight. I guess he's gonna stay in the hole he's batting at.
He'll stay where he's at. Oh boy. All right, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're gonna talk about
he is pushing it every half hour.
I want to hear Mizzou. I want to hear Mizzou because I want to argue. I want to get you all riled up, and we're going to talk about their schedule.
Who did Ohio State lose to? What was the last game Ohio State played, and who did they lose to?
We're going to be right back.
Who did they lose to, Jim? Who did they lose to, Jim?
Say it, Jim. Say it.
Say it. They lost to M-I-Z.
Say it.
Z-O-U.
Hey, I want to hear Jim say it. Jim's got to say it.
The Ohio State lost to Mizzou.
We'll be back in a moment. You're watching the Coach's Box. We call it as we see it. We'll be right back.
Say it.
I'm a bird stuck in Larry Bird's attic. And I'm going cuckoo.
What the heck?
What you got, Larry? May the best bird win. Rick. You may be a legend on the court, but you're an amateur up here. Heads up, Larry. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem, like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
On average, heating and cooling account for around 40% of your energy bills. Introducing the efficient Daikin Fit, a revolutionary HVAC system for ducted homes. While other units use considerable energy turning on and off, the Daikin Fit saves energy through consistent comfort control. It's the perfect fit for homes like yours. See the difference. Feel the benefits. Daikin Fit.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
Guys, if you've been in to check out the changes at Case and Buck's Grub and Pub, stop by, check us out. We've got awesome wings. We got great pizza. We got a steak sandwich, a steak salad. Holy cow. We got games. We've got lotto. We've got cold beer. We've got a little bit of everything. Stop by, check us out. Check out the weekly specials. Barbecue, pork steaks, yum. Harold's Market, thank you, my friends. Check us out. We are waiting for you.
And we are back. And yes, Kevin, I did say it as we were going off. I did say it. Okay.
I didn't hear it, so I was just making my point.
I did say that Ohio State lost to Mizzou. I said that.
That was their
I'm
last
not-
game. The last game they played, they lost to Mizzou. Mizzou beat the
Okay.
Ohio State. The Ohio State lost to Mizzou. Ha!
And we've lost Miller, thank God. Anyway.
God,
Now we can have the real show.
Now, everybody, the real show begins. Hello, welcome back to the Coach's Box. David, I said it, and I've said it twice. Leave me alone, Jarvis's brother. Episode 194, and by the way, episode 200, me and Chris figured out will be either July 24th or July 25th. So,
well, I'm glad
that will be number
once again,
200.
you guys really consulted with everyone else. That's good.
Well, no, I just went by the weeks.
That's assuming
That's
we end
when
up having a
200
show each of those weeks.
Well,
Yeah,
no, because
yeah.
me and Kevin could always do a soccer show on the Coach's Box.
Copa America coming up.
We ain't worried about it.
Absolutely.
Hey, me and Chris
Summer
are
Olympics.
always here along
Summer
with Zach
Olympics.
most of the time. You other two are fly by your. You never know when you'll be here.
Summer Olympics, Kevin. I mean,
You know why? It's
You
because
know?
you're soccer fans. That's about how you are.
Depends on when
right.
4th of
That's
July
what we
is and all that jazz.
are. 4th of July
Because that's on a Thursday.
It's on a
That's on a
Thursday, so
Thursday.
we would do the show.
Yeah,
We can
4th
do
of
a Wednesday
July
night
week.
show.
Jarvis is out. I'm going to be in Cali.
We're
Cali.
going back to Cali.
Cali.
To
Cali.
Caledonia.
We're going back to Cali.
California,
I
Missouri?
don't think so.
Caledonia.
No,
Yeah,
I'm going to the Sunshine State.
Oh,
I tell you who's not going to the
that's
Sunshine
Florida,
State real
by the way,
quick.
Jarvis.
Yeah, that's Florida.
Yeah.
I tell you who's
Yeah.
not going to Cali.
Real quick,
It's
let's talk
Hurley.
about that. Dan Hurley's not going there. And
What is California's saying?
I think he made the right decision.
I'm looking it up, damn it.
Oh, yeah.
I think Hurley is comfortable where he's at. He's making a bigger difference in the college game. I just when somebody said it, I said he's not going to go. I'm glad he at least listened, but I'm glad he's staying because I think he is a big part of the direction that college basketball on the men's side is going right now.
Well, it comes down to really simple. The head coach of the Lakers is playing second fiddle to LeBron and what he wants anyway.
The
So
state motto in California is Eureka.
We're talking about basketball, not that.
yeah, well, so
I have
Go ahead,
found
Kevin,
it.
please.
I don't know that anybody that he's
Dude,
got enough pull and he's got enough power at the college level. Why would you want to go play second fiddle to somebody else there
Well,
in
man,
that?
who
And
wants-
you're gonna
and
get-
who wants to coach LeBron?
That's
Well,
what I
who
just
wants
said.
to coach LeBron, who's making a pitch to get his son in the 17th pick?
And Dan Hurley's yelling and screaming won't work with professionals.
I'll agree with that as well.
No, that's another
Whoa.
Nick
Yeah.
Saban.
I'm just gonna.
No. Here's
I
the
just
thing.
think it was the smartest decision he ever made. You just won
Right.
two state. Two national championships in a row. You're going to go
Yeah.
for 3 now.
And he
Yeah.
didn't lose
And-
anybody to the portal, and he's picked up 2 top 100 dudes to fill in for the couple kids that graduated. Team is loaded again next year. They're
Yeah.
preseason number 1, without any doubt.
The Lakers, and Jarvis, I know you're a Lakers fan, and it probably, as a fan standpoint, you probably
Miserable
didn't
right
like it.
now.
It's like this. You didn't if you're going to get him, you have to offer the moon and stars. It has to be an offer that he can't refuse. And to sit here and say the years and the money, like, no, that there's no, hold on. You are in LA and that's what you're going to offer me to come over here with all of the problems? Not happening. Why would you go? It's not like he's going from he's going from Phoenix to California or even in the Midwest. No, you're going literally coast to coast. He's been an East Coast guy his whole life. No, not happening. And I think he's better for it. Like you said, the college game is going to be better for it. It just tells you the situation that the Lakers are in. and how just messed up that organization is.
If that were to go sideways at some point, LeBron would throw him under the bus in a heartbeat, but he would not have the opportunity. He couldn't throw LeBron under the bus because nobody would understand it or take it for what it's worth.
I hope someone other than the Lakers drafts Bronny and then LeBron is gone.
Well, here's the thing, and this is what a lot of people don't understand. LeBron's agent is also representing Bronny. And that dude has he wields a ton of power. And he will put the fear of God into teams to not draft Bronny if that's what it takes. Because if they do, that agent will not let any of his clients go to a team that does that. That was Freddie and I forget who's a co-host with him in the afternoons are on ESPN, but they were talking about that, and it's true. It's very true. That dude wields a ton of stroke when it comes to where players go, where teams go, and I mean it's just it's
a ton of what
scenario.
A ton of what?
A ton of stroke, man.
He said a ton of stroke.
Yeah. You've never heard that saying?
You've never heard that?
No, I've never heard that one.
Gosh.
Must be an Ohio thing.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Stroke out there.
Kevin, I mean, Zach, you've heard this. Shut up, Miller. I'll mute you.
I was going to say, the only stroke that I don't know, Jim.
Hey, we're getting awfully close to that E. We got to be careful about this.
Well, speaking of E, the Celtics are up. Me and Chris are going to eat a lot of crow on this series.
You are.
Hey, and Dallas
Celtics
had their chance with Porzingis out. I mean, with that injury, I thought he was going to be the difference maker.
Kyrie's been god awful. Kyrie's been terrible.
He has.
Kyrie went back to Kyrie. I don't know.
He did. Okay, Mizzou. All right.
What about him?
So,
what are you going to talk trash about now?
I'm not going to talk any trash. I'm just going to give my unbiased opinion in certain aspects. Their schedule is complete, and the times are starting to come in. So we're going to go through the schedule, and we are going to determine who thinks what their record is going to be. So I think everybody will say yes, that they will beat Murray State. And if there was a turbo clock in college, that's probably what would happen in the home opener on a Thursday night, once again, at Faroe Field at 7:00. So I'm thinking yeses across the board.
Yes.
Game 2.
Yep.
1-0.
At Faroe Field on Saturday, September 7th, a 6:00 start. Buffalo.
2-0.
Okay. Game 3, September 14th, a noon kick at Faroe Field. They opened with 4 straight home games.
All wins.
They played Boston College.
All wins.
I'll give them
close,
one W
but
there.
they'll win.
So everybody's got them 4-0, right? Or
yes,
3-0
Jim.
right
They're
now.
starting out 4-0. Okay, everybody knows that from looking at the schedule.
We could talk about Murray State, but we're going to skip over Vanderbilt. That's a win.
Vanderbilt's a win. That's on September
Facts.
21. That's a flex game. It's either going to be in the 2:30 window or the 6:00 window. Okay, now it gets interesting. College Station, Texas A&M, coming off of a bye week on October 5th.
Win.
11 a.m. game. They got the early slot.
Why is
the window?
I don't like that slot, but that's a win.
Win.
Yeah. It's one of my flex. I've got 9 for sure wins and 3 that they'll probably in 3 games in which I think they'll win 2 of the 3. But and that Texas A&M is in that group of 3 for me.
Well, if they want to, this has to be a win. They got to get over this hump of bull crap. They got to win that one.
Here's what I'm going to say for
agree.
Texas A&M fans, for the program of Texas A&M, and for Texas A&M fans. They've had that recruiting class that they touted now they ought to be upperclassmen by now. If they can't pull together a quality year of double-digit wins, then I'm tired of hearing about A&M. I'm tired of hearing about the money they spend. It's just not in the cards for them. Okay, so this they have to play dangerous. They have to be a dangerous team, and they have to win, which, like Kevin would say, this is going to be a 50-50 toss-up for me. I think it can go either way. I think playing in the morning helps Mizzou. If it was at night, I think it would be a little bit different, but it's 50-50.
If this was at Faroe, it's a 100% win. The fact that it's at Kyle Fieldhouse makes it a little more iffy for me.
If the first four go the way I think they will, and they're 4-0 going into that game, it's a win.
Yeah,
it's a win.
Mark
it down.
I agree with Zach. I think it's a 50-50 game. Because here's the thing. Number one, that Jimbo Fisher is basically coaching for his job this year. And that's why they brought Bobby Petrino in, which still is mind-boggling to me that they brought that doofus in to be the offensive coordinator. But for Texas A&M, it is a must-win. That's why I think it's a tweener. Do I think Mizzou has the personnel to beat A&M? I absolutely do. But I think because you're playing down at Kyle.
Cook the burden, touchdown. Cook the burden, touchdown. They're winning.
I think it's 50-50. Okay,
I don't know if my microphone is on right now.
We heard you.
It is.
You said
Okay,
they
good.
were going to win.
They're freaking winning.
You.
Yeah, that's all there is to it, you negative Nancy from Ohio. They're freaking winning.
Wait a second, Zach.
Deal with it.
Zach, did you just not say it was a 50-50 game for you?
I think it's 50-50, and I'm going to go when we get through the schedule.
Yeah, but he's not an Ohio State fan, okay?
I'm going to tell my reasons why I'm going to say my win-loss record, but go ahead.
It's a 70-30 for me, not 50-50. It's a 70-30.
It's a 95-5 me. Mizzou wins.
All right, moving on.
I'm all about a hundo. They're winning. Don't even think about it. They're winning.
We already know who's going to win the game the following week on October 12th in a to-be-determined game. It's going to be at Amherst. It's going to be UMass, and that's a middle-of-the-year sacrificial lamb. So
Wait. Hey, I got a serious question. Is UMass even are they like 1AA?
No,
they're still. I was going to say, are they still like the worst D1 football program?
They're an independent, I believe, but I think they're Division 1A. They're bowl series. They're FBS.
That's awesome.
Yes. All right,
that's okay. Now
95% they're winning that game.
You give them the same odds as A&M.
105%.
95. 100 over A&M. 95.
Wow.
They always, if you've been a Mizzou fan enough, they always have some stupid hiccup game. And I was at the Middle Tennessee State game. Believe me, man. I thought, oh my God, we're going to lose these guys.
Unfortunately, I think
I got to go up to the concession stand, drown this. This is going to be a loss.
The hiccup game for me is on October 19th. Homecoming, Auburn. Because now hold on, just hear me out. You go undefeated, you know what's coming at you the following week in Tuscaloosa. Are you looking ahead and forgetting that Auburn does have some dudes that can play football? Or can you take care of business and go into Tuscaloosa undefeated and set up just a hell of a battle on national TV? And if that takes place, I guarantee you that's going to be the 2:30 game on whatever network it's going to be on next year.
This is real.
I think it'll be close. I think it'll be close. But here's where I say the winning of last year and the ascension.
Homecoming in Columbia, baby, that's a win.
The ascension of the Mizzou program gets them this win. And it gets them, I would say, probably a comfortable win by fourth quarter. Now, had we said this last year or maybe 2 years ago, I would have said, I don't know. But I do think that they win. It'll be a ball game probably going into a late score in the fourth quarter.
Zach said it right. They've learned how to win, and I think that this is where this is going to pay off a little bit, pay off a lot, I should say. Auburn's a 100% win for me.
Win.
I think they beat Auburn, but
Hugh
I think
Freeze.
it's going to be closer than. I think it's closer than what people think, but I think Mizzou wins. I think
I
they
didn't
do
say,
get the
I
win.
didn't say it
at
was a
home.
100% massive blowout win. It's a
Right.
100% win, and Hugh Freeze is a disaster.
He's another dude that's coaching for his job right now. I mean, let's be honest. There's a bunch of coaches in the SEC that are literally coaching.
It's only
their
in like what, year
livelihoods this
2?
year.
You think Hugh Freeze
Yeah,
is on
no.
the hot seat already in year 2?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
At Auburn, yes. For the amount of money
Yes.
they're paying and funneling into that program, everybody's on the hot seat every
And
year.
when he ran out Cadillac Williams, when a lot of people thought that Cadillac Williams should have gotten a head coaching job, who was an
Well, it
Auburn
wasn't his fault.
guy
He didn't
through
get
and
hired.
through,
Well,
it doesn't matter. But and he didn't even keep him on staff. That's the other big
or,
issue.
or attempt to keep him on staff where Cadillac
Yeah.
could go away on his own terms.
Right. I mean, put him as your running back coach, offensive coordinator, whatever.
No.
You got to keep that
No.
dude. Yes,
No.
you do.
you can't do
have to
that.
keep that.
You can't-
He is
You
Auburn
can't do that.
royalty.
I don't care if he's Auburn royalty. If you two were the last two for that position, I don't want him under me. You're insane.
No,
I've been
You
on a
gotta
lot
keep-
of football
I
staff. I'm
understand.
telling you right
Jason-
now, nope.
Jason's right in this, and I can't believe I just said that. Jason's right in this, but I think Auburn could have found a better way to handle this situation to
Well,
let
yeah,
Cadillac go off
obviously.
on his own.
Yes, but no way am I gonna no.
I don't know.
All right, moving
So,
on.
all right,
Moving on.
Alabama, October 26th. Once again, it's a flex game. It'll either be
Can I go
2:30 or
first?
6 o'clock.
Yes.
Can I go
Jason.
first? MF and win, baby, right there. MIZ.
ZOU.
Yeah.
Well,
100%.
Oh,
this
Can I
is
mark that
at
down?
Bama.
Can I mark that down right now?
yeah.
Yep. Mark it down.
It is-
Saban's
okay.
gone.
so
Saban's
here's the thing.
gone.
Okay, so Saban is gone. You're going to have a new first year head coach. We'll see where they're at that point. And here's what's going to happen:
Well,
either Bama is rolling, or if they have
But you're
one or
saying the
two
tide's
losses,
rolling.
right? Or if they have a loss or two going into that game, you've got some people around the area that are going to be like, "Why did we hire this guy from up in the Northwest? Why didn't we
'Cause he
hire a good old
wins.
boy from down south?" I know, but I'm just saying, nothing
know.
comes easy in the SEC, and nothing comes easy in college football. And if there's any hiccups, I think you have won so much with Saban. I don't know if you get the leash that Saban had in his first couple of years. This is Chris.
everybody at Bama is going to be compared to
Jarvis.
Bear Bryant and
That's
Nick Saban.
Jarvis.
So, but everybody's going to be compared to those two. It's a toss up for me, but I want to see how Alabama is playing under DeBoer before I'm able to make a definitive decision on that.
I am the tiger.
But
My Hergy people are hating me right now.
song.
But
I hate that song.
And so do I.
I got goosebumps right now on my
I
arm.
already know where
Because I
Mr. Dr. Zavago's going with this. Mr. Sunglasses at Night. You'll see winning.
I'm going to give you the best prediction right now. Mizzou is undefeated after this game. Write it down.
Oh my goodness,
I'm with you.
They ain't losing.
man! Oh
No.
my goodness! You guys talking about drinking the Kool-Aid?
No,
That
Zach,
would be
you wanna
that
go
would
or
be
should
a.
coach drink. That's right.
Okay.
Get it
So
done.
if-
Zach, we
Yeah.
heard from the three amigos. Let's bring the real reality of the situation right now.
If
Mr. McVey,
Mizzou
go ahead.
wins, okay. If Mizzou beats Bama and they're undefeated at this point, you lock up Eli for a 10-year deal. He is a Mizzou now has completely gone over that mountaintop. They are a perennial top 25, top 15. Now you even call it a top 10 mountaintop type SEC school, and you ought to be getting all the recruits and all of the money and all of this, that, and the other. I just don't know because I'm a Bama. I love Bama. I want Mizzou to win. I just can't see it. You're still playing 5 stars versus 3 stars. Okay.
My son Dylan is gonna party like a rock star, and they're going
I hope he
to beat
does.
Bama, and it's gonna be awesome.
All right, hang on.
I hope
Zach,
they do.
Zach,
Yeah.
put yourself even further in that corner that you're in right now. Okay.
Wait, John. I have not talked yet, so me and Zach both may be in the corner.
Zach, put yourself in that corner a little bit further. Just back on up. Get in that corner. All right, that bad take. Hey, Ohio State. I don't even want to hear you bringing your negative there.
I'm bringing it. Here's what I'm going to tell you. When you get a big SEC win, I will believe it on the road. If this game was
the bowl game.
On the road.
When you start playing real conference.
Hey, stop it. Stop it. Ohio State didn't have half their team. I'm done with it. Mizzou won. Great.
Mizzou didn't have a bunch of players too.
I am happy for that Mizzou won. I said that when it was over with. Okay? Now, can we go back to Mizzou, Alabama? I want Mizzou to win. I am not the biggest fan of Alabama, but I do like Caleb DeBoer. Now, it'll be interesting to see how they come out of the gate, how they play early. If this game was at Faurot Field, Mizzou wins. I just think that Mizzou needs a little bit more to get a victory in that environment because I'm telling you, that is either going to be – I think they're going to put that in the afternoon window. And
your take is
fine.
Your take is put me to sleep.
I don't care. I think it's a 50-50 game. I want Mizzou to win. I just don't know if they have the dudes to get it done in Tuscaloosa.
They got the dudes. What are you talking about?
The dudes, they've graduated.
They've lost a lot. They've lost more than what everybody thinks. Yes, they've got Brady back. Yes, they've got Burden back. They've got good defensive line play back. They've lost a lot up front. They still got to figure out a running back. And their secondary, I still say, is vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. You're going through my checklist. Hey, add this since we're talking about it. You had the thicker. No.
And
you had the thicker kicker.
You are such a Bama fan.
You listen. You had the
where your Duke hat,
thicker
your
kicker
Alabama crap.
who changed up and listen to reason. You had the thicker kicker that allowed for the OC to call plays, knowing that all you have to do is cross midfield. And you're going to get 3 points. There's a freedom in play calling. There's a freedom in play calling and playing when you know, hey, I don't have to pucker up and make this third down because I know this kicker is going to kick points.
Well,
you lose. Did sign the number one kicker.
Yeah, you weren't at the kicking camp that me and Dylan were at. I'm telling you, that number one kicker that Kevin's talking about, he can kick. He's legit.
He's not thicker. He's not, but he's a kid that can change games.
Every kickoff he did. Every kickoff
that's great on air. Nobody in the stands on air.
And that's great when there's nobody sitting around you. Go down to Tuscaloosa where there's 85,000 screaming fans.
It ain't going to be a field goal game, brother.
Yes,
it ain't going to be a field goal game. They're going to be ahead. They're going to be ahead by 2 touchdowns. It ain't going to matter. Burton's going to run off.
November 9th.
Touchdown right.
That's in the afternoon evening. That's in the afternoon evening window. Oklahoma makes their SEC debut at Faurot Field.
Yeah, I'm not. This is a loss, maybe.
That might be the only one.
You're going to give. Are you going to hold on? Time out. Out of the 2 teams, you say Bama's a win. Bama's a win at Bama, and then you say Oklahoma's a loss at home.
No, go Tigers.
Oh my gosh!
Let down.
It's a win.
Let down.
This
You
is
just said it was
this
a
is
loss.
I'm a Mizzou fan. I know what happens. We beat Alabama. They're going to party for like 8 days in Columbia, and they're going to come back and they're going to get their ass kicked by Oklahoma.
Shakespeare's going to run out of beer after that Bama game because
no.
and then
Oh,
they're not
yeah.
giving him
No
any.
doubt.
Gosh.
No
I'm gonna
doubt.
tell my-
Listen, beer because
My son better be careful carrying the goalpost. That's all I'm
They're
saying when they
crying.
beat them.
Well, okay, so there's the Oklahoma game is the third game of that group of three that I was talking about.
Our number.
They're gonna win 2 out of the 3, whether it be A&M, Alabama, and Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm giving them 1 out of the 3.
You're giving
I
them
think
2
they're
out of the
gonna-
3.
We live in
I
the
think
show
they're
me
gonna
state.
lose the
Show
back-to-back.
me.
Yeah, well,
show
they
me.
did last year. They showed you when they beat Ohio State in the bowl game.
Okay, great. One.
Bring it up.
Make it 2
I didn't
years in
bring
a
it
row.
up.
Make it 2 years in a row. Make it
I mean,
3
okay.
and then it's a
Case-
streak.
Anyway, the 4 of us will now chat.
All right. Hey,
Let's-
I got to jump. Listen, I got to jump off here. So I'm just going to tell you the only regular season loss they're going to take is Oklahoma. That's all I'm going to say. One loss. That's it.
That's
And
probably the same for me.
That's how I'm gonna roll.
Oklahoma game scares me, man.
That's the one. It's a letdown.
I think
Jason's
they
right.
lose-
They're going
I-
to party like it's 1999, like it's freaking Rick James, Prince style. Doesn't matter. It's going to be all kinds of crazy in Columbia when they get back. Those guys are going to be.
It's gonna
Wow.
be like
Say
my
goodnight,
old.
Miller.
It's gonna be like my
Go
old
check in your
CMC
hotel
days.
room in Area 54.
All right. Hey, peace out. I got it. I'm in Warrensburg right now. I'll be staying with Coach Nemo. We're going to be working the
Lord.
NBCA Midwest Showcase Girls event this weekend. So I'm getting a head start, so I have to get up at 4:00 in the morning. But anyway, see you guys all next week. I'll watch the rest of the show. Don't screw it up, Jim.
I won't. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the basketball out there, brother.
All right.
Now, is this the Coaches Association deal?
Yep. It's,
Hey, Dallas is only down 3
Yeah.
right now.
With 6 left.
Yep. Hey, the girls events this week, and then the boys events next week. So it should be a lot
Awesome.
of good basketball.
Next
So-
weekend?
Yes.
Oh,
I'll message you.
I should come down.
You should.
Let's go.
You should help work it.
Road
All right.
trip.
See you guys. What?
Later.
See you.
I think that I think it's going to be back-to-back losses, Bama and Oklahoma. I think if
Oh
they beat
my
A&M,
God! You gotta
I think
shut
they're
up.
I think they're going to lose 2, but then they're going to win the rest of the way out.
Mhm.
They'll
Jim, I
beat
hate
South
you.
Carolina. They'll beat Mississippi State. They'll pound. Put it this way: they will end Sam Pittman's coaching career at Arkansas.
Sam
Can we-
Pittman
He
won't be
might
coaching
be out
that
before
game.
then.
Can we?
That's true.
Hey, can we bring Shooty back off assignment and fire this guy?
No,
Just
he's
being
got all the-
realistic.
Hey, he's got all the passwords. I don't know that we can do that.
Yeah, true. That's a valid point. That's a valid point.
I'm
Well,
going
you
to
don't
say
want me. You
this.
don't want me to have all the passwords.
That's why we didn't give them
We
to
don't
you.
let you. Yeah. Why do you think you're not allowed to run this thing?
No, if I ran this thing,
I'm
it'd be
gonna say-
tip-top shape.
I'm going to say 9
At least we
wins.
know I'd be here.
That right. You mean it's in the computer?
What
No,
button do I
but
hit?
I'm going to say
Escape.
Dude, I'm almost Google certified. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
there you go. I'm going to say 9
Anybody
wins.
can do that.
10 with the bowl. I'm going to say 10 wins. You put together back-to-back double-digit winning seasons, and I think you've got the steam rolling for recruits in state, and then now you can go get some national recruits. Because listen, here's the thing, and Jim, we already talked about it. So Jim, you and I are going to have a normal conversation. Okay.
Yep.
Yes, you have Burden. He's gone after this year. You've got Cook.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
gone after this year.
He's gone.
Schrader's already left. Who did you lose on the O-line? You got to have an O-line. You lost the kicker. Okay. You already talked about on the defense.
You lost a solid D end. You lost.
Mhm.
You lost your safety, and you lost your number 1 lockdown corner,
And your number 2 corner.
and your number 2 corner. And that's the concern I have in that Bama game and that Oklahoma game, because you've got 2 quarterbacks that could sling it all over the place. And I just don't know if Mizzou's defense can put enough pressure or stop the back end with the routes, especially over the top.
Jim, what I will
And
say to
how
that
did-
is this is game what 8 and 9.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
they'll have 7, 8, 9 weeks with bye weeks to get that figured out and get that straightened out.
But
They'll be able to do that. I think they're 11 and 1, make the playoffs, and get into the second round of the playoffs.
I think
I totally
they
forgot
got a
about all
legit-
that.
So
You
I
see,
think
I
they're
think they've
12
got
and
a
2
legit-
to finish the year.
I've got them. I think they've got a legitimate shot. They're not going to host. It drives me nuts that everybody is running around Mizzou and Columbia. Oh, we're going to host. You got to be in either 5, 6, 7, or 8. And unless they win the SEC, I don't see them in the top 8.
If they win the SEC, they're 1, 2, 3, or 4.
They're probably 4. They're probably going to be 4. You'll have.
If they win that, you're telling me if they win the
hold on.
SEC, they're going to be 4.
Here's the
You're
problem.
outside your mind.
No.
Michigan's
Look at their
probably still ahead of
non-conference
them.
schedule. Look at their non-conference schedule, Jason.
If they
That's
win
the
the
problem.
SEC, there's no way they're going to be 4. No way.
Look at their strength of
The
schedule,
best conference
Jason.
in the it doesn't matter.
Jason,
The
yes,
best
it
conference.
does.
Nope.
Jason, yes, it does.
Okay, so then
Why
I'll ask
do
you this.
why?
So who would be what other conference champions would be ahead of the SEC champion? I'll give you Michigan. I'll give you the if it's
Ohio-
Michigan in the
we're in
Big
the
Ten.
Big
If
Ten.
it's anybody else of the Big Ten, it's not happening.
It's Ohio State because Michigan lost so much. Ohio State is going to win the Big Ten this year.
I will, but I don't know that Ohio State will have the resume
Ohio
to do
State-
that.
but
Who's two
Ohio
other
State's
teams?
resume-
Who would be 2 other teams?
I'm not saying they'd be one. I'm not
I
saying
didn't say they'd be 1 either. I said they
They'll
won't
be in the
be
top
4.
I
They
think
won't
they'll
be
be 4. I don't like their strength
Not
of
if they
schedule,
win-
guys.
Not if
Guys,
they win the
look,
SEC.
hey, they're going to play. Hold on.
They'll
Look
have
at
to
this.
play, and they'll have to play the SEC
They're going to
championship
play
game,
2.
dummy.
They're going to play 3 ranked teams. 3 ranked teams. They're going to play Bama ranked. They're going to play Oklahoma ranked, and then the SEC championship. 3 ranked teams. Their strength of schedule in that committee room is not going to stand up.
I would venture to
I don't give a crap. It's the SEC, dude. You're
doesn't
stupid.
matter.
If
You
they
still
win, if they win the
stupid.
SEC,
I'm stupid.
if they win the SEC, they're above 4.
Well,
They're 2 or 3.
I'm just saying. Okay, Jim, I
Their
will say
strength of
this.
schedule is terrible.
Their non-conference schedule is not very good. They've got some in that. I think A&M might be ranked early in the year. They would fall off by the end of the year, so that would be a ranked team on their schedule. I can see maybe Ohio State or Michigan, one of the two, being up there.
Yeah.
I can see maybe Florida State in the ACC if they win it ahead
I'm
of them.
thinking Florida State, and I'm thinking Clemson could be in that conversation.
Florida State
as well,
couldn't even make the
depending upon
playoffs.
Who wins in that
Undefeated,
cluster.
couldn't even make the playoffs.
The
Shut up.
cachet of winning the SEC is, I think, at least a top 3 seed.
Yes.
I think at minimum.
Under a normal schedule,
If they run the table, let's say, best case scenario, they go undefeated, they run the table, they win the SEC.
If they run the table, they're 1 or 2.
That's 13-0.
Yeah, they're 1 or 2. Easily.
If they're 12-1 and win the SEC, and they're 12-1 after they win it, I still think they're a 2 seed. If depending on who that loss is to.
Right.
But if let's say they beat Bama twice, I think they
Guys,
beat
you're thinking
Oklahoma.
you're forgetting Georgia. You're kind of this is all pipe dreams.
Well,
so let's go ahead and come
Yeah,
back to Earth.
That's the other
Let's
thing.
go ahead
too.
and come back to Earth. Okay.
So if they play Georgia, you're telling me, Zach,
You mean
if
the
they
team that
win the SEC,
they played Georgia really close the last 2 years?
they should have
and you're
beat
just-
Georgia.
They should have beaten Georgia 2 straight years.
Yeah,
what I'm
shoulda,
saying
woulda,
is,
coulda,
if
didn't.
what I'm saying is, his argument was, if they won the SEC, they still are going to be 4. There's no way in hell. If they win the SEC,
I don't think that'll happen.
They're 2 or 3.
I don't think
win.
that'll
I
happen.
didn't say they would. I said if.
I don't think they beat Georgia.
You both are dense.
I heard you, Jason. I heard you. We're all. Yeah.
I know what they talk about in that committee room. And when they all get together, the biggest pieces that they talk about is strength of schedule, non-conference, and within your conference. Mizzou's conference schedule is not the strongest.
Yeah,
and we all have to admit that.
They miss out on Ole Miss, LSU, Georgia, Tennessee.
Yeah,
I agree.
They're not playing the big kids on the block.
I agree, but if they win the SEC, there's no way they're not 2 or 3.
You never know.
That's a big if. But I would agree with that. But I like the committee would probably like to see their first, 2 non-conference games not be Murray State and Buffalo. Something more along the lines of, say, I don't know, an Iowa or Big Ten team, maybe a Houston or something out of the Big 12 to kind of boost that a little bit, even if it's a low end. The Vanderbilts of the Big 12, so to speak.
Right.
It would be Kansas. I would love to see Kansas in one of those early weeks. That would be a better play than it would be.
So let me
Buffalo
ask you this. If they go 10-2, no SEC championship, they go 10-2, are they a playoff team with their schedule?
I'm going to say yes.
I'd say
they'd be in that. I'd say they'd be in the 11 or 12 slot.
Yeah. I'll
because
agree with that.
even if
I cannot remember.
The 13, depending on who's the 12, the cachet of going 10-2 in the SEC would get them to that 12 spot.
I can't remember. Wasn't there some caveat about a non-Power 5 team has to be in
the highest ranked
12 or something?
The highest ranked group of 5. The highest ranked group of 5 automatically makes it in. I think anywhere from 5 down.
Yeah,
well.
and it has to be. It's the highest one. So was it Tulane last year if they would have had it, but they were ranked like 23rd.
Yeah.
So it was the top 11 and then the 23rd.
Right.
James Madison or somebody like that.
I think it was Tulane last year, but Tulane? Something along those lines.
It was Tulane last year because they got absolutely smoked by Oregon, I think it was.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, and let's.
Luka just fouled out with 4 minutes left. Down 3.
So, the one thing
probably on a flop.
No, it was challenged. It was even challenged. I thought it was a charge. They called a block, and they upheld the call.
Here's the one thing I'm going to say about the SEC, and they've got to make this change. I'm glad they've gone away from divisions, okay, but they've got to get rid of that 4th non-con game. They've got to play a 9-game conference schedule. They've got to mimic what the Big Ten does because that's going to give you a better chance. Like if you drop that 4th non-con game, guess what? You're playing 9 now. You're playing 9 conference matchups. That's going to get you an LSU, an Ole Miss, a Georgia. That is going to beef up your schedule. That's going to help that strength of schedule piece. And I'm going to say it, but you look at Ohio State's schedule this year, they open up with Akron, Western Michigan, and Marshall. That's terrible because they don't play Notre Dame in week 2 this year. Then they go Iowa, and then they've got to travel to Oregon. That's going to be a hellacious trip, okay? Then you go Nebraska, then Penn State's probably going to be ranked. Oregon will probably be ranked at that point. Then Purdue, Northwestern, Indiana, and then Michigan will be ranked. So it's kind of the same boat, so to say, and then whoever they end up playing in the playoff, if they beat Michigan. Now, the one good thing is the Ohio State-Michigan game's at Ohio Stadium this year. So, but Jason, I understand what you're saying. I just know how the committee looks at different things, and now that you've expanded it to 12, they're going to be even more selective on how they see teams, and especially with the bowl alignments and all that stuff as well, with that second round with 1, 2, and 3 not hosting a home game, they're playing at a bowl site.
All I was saying was if they won the SEC, there's no way they can be ranked 4. No way.
I would agree with you if I didn't know the insides and outs of what they look at. But looking at the strength of schedule is not in Mizzou's favor.
If they beat Georgia in the championship game.
If they beat Georgia in the championship game,
okay. If they're not going to win the SEC without going either undefeated.
I'll use your same logic, though. FSU is undefeated and they didn't get in the playoff. And
They weren't in
won a
the
conference
SEC.
championship.
They
It doesn't
weren't in
matter.
the
There's-
SEC.
I'm
Jason,
just
Yes,
saying.
it does
This-
matter.
Jason,
well, the
their
FSU
strength of
wasn't in the
schedule was terrible.
Yeah,
That's
terrible.
why they didn't
not in the
make
SEC,
it.
and they were missing a very significant piece of their team that
their
makes a difference,
quarterback.
and that is part of the criteria. They have
Yes.
the right to look at that as part of that criteria.
Right. But the other big piece was they won the ACC, but the ACC was down and their non-conference schedule was horrible.
Yeah.
That's the perfect example. They were number 5 last year. I thought they should have made it. I thought Georgia should have made it. Okay, but that's what they look at. That's what they look into that room is how are they playing right now? What was your non-conference schedule?
It's not going to
What was
matter
your
if
conference
it's 12,
schedule?
but if it's 12 teams, that changes that whole dynamic.
It makes it even more
Well,
of a condensed thing. It doesn't open it up that much. It's going to put it under a bigger microscope because now, what is that 13th team going to say?
but that's what I said.
It's not going to be.
The discussion's not who's 4, 5, and 6. The discussion is
Right.
now who's 11, 12, 13, and 14. Or
It
in
doesn't.
the case of the group of 5, who's number 22 or 23.
It's actually harder to put that together.
Yeah.
It really is. And that's so.
Because you look at matchups, you don't want conference matchups when you seed those things through. You're not going to put 2 SEC teams in the first round. They're just not going to do it. So
No, and they're going to try to avoid that in the second round if they at all could, if at all possible, But the way that they've got to set it up, it's going to be interesting to see once again how they do that. But it's going to put a lot of that criteria into play a lot more than what it normally has been in the past.
Yep.
So, well, guys, wow, that was a lively 40-minute discussion. I know I was going to get Jarvis riled up one way, shape, or form tonight, so there it is.
Well, if you win the SEC, you're in. Top 3.
Oh, Lord. All right.
Top 3.
Guys,
I don't care what your conference. If they're undefeated and win the SEC, they're in.
Hey, what was Bama?
Top 3.
Were they? I can't remember who was
One
last
loss.
year.
One loss.
One loss.
Were they?
Yeah.
To Georgia.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
And they were in, and Georgia wasn't. What the hell? And you're talking about, they didn't look at it because Georgia should have been in last year. I don't care what they say.
Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
How
I
could
thought Florida State and
Georgia be the number 1 team all year and have 1 loss and out?
To a team that got in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
I thought Florida State and Georgia should have both been in.
Yeah.
Just saying.
No. So,
all right, boys.
When it comes to people making these decisions and not just numbers or a pure system, there's always going to be these arguments.
we should probably give the championship people the Misha algorithm for playoff
Oh
seeding.
gosh. That is so yeah. If
We're
that's the
gonna end the
case,
show
if that's
on
the case,
that
go
note.
0-12. You'll automatically get in.
We're going to end the show on that note. Thank you very
We
much.
played bigger
for going
schools,
down that
yes.
road. We played
Yeah.
bigger schools. So, shoot. Well, great work
Boston,
tonight, fellas.
Boston's going to win.
Yep, up by 4 with 20 seconds left.
22
So we will be
seconds.
back
Get it
next
right.
week, either next Wednesday or Thursday. Not sure yet. We'll figure out everybody's schedules.
Hey, some of us will be here. Jim, probably not.
I will be here.
What do you got to put on that?
Oh,
You never pay your.
I'll buy you Subway at Hillsborough in 2 Mondays when we're back at Hillsborough.
Oh, Subway, Schmubway.
He's cranky.
All right.
He's tired.
He is cranky and tired. That's why we're going to go right now, so I can.
Hey, if any of you all want a dog, I got one for you. Let me know.
Oh, jeez. All right, fellas. Well, we will see everybody next week. Thanks so much for tuning in to episode 194 of the Coach's Box. Call it like we see it. And we will see everybody.
Hey,
And Jim's been
Bama
to
was
like
number
30.
4. Jarvis. Bama was number 4 last year. SEC, but number 4.
Champion, number 4. We'll
Michigan,
end on that note. Thanks, Zach. We'll talk to
with the
everybody
loss.
next week.
Washington, Texas.
We'll talk to everybody next week and continue this 3-ring circus. Take care, everybody. We'll
You're
talk to you next
13
week.
and 0 and win the SEC. You're in
This episode of the Coach's Box Call It Like We See It podcast is brought to you by Off the Rails Media. Life's more fun when you're off the rails.